Hello and welcome, everyone. It is I, Sylvia, coming to you live from beautiful Eastbourne by the Sea in the United Kingdom for a very special edition of the Energy Show. And it's going to be all about the soul. Woohoo! I am excited to be talking about something that does not get anywhere near enough attention from anybody. Nobody gives the soul any attention in the Western world. They sometimes use the word, but that's as far as it goes. And I'm hoping to make a little change in that today. A very glorious and wonderful good morning to Liam, Ilka, Carol, and Ravensweaver. Good morning, my friends. It's fantastic to have you here with me, and also a most hearty and soulful welcome to you if you're watching the replay at any point in time and space. Welcome to you, and I hope you are going to enjoy what we're going to do today, because I think I am going to enjoy what we are going to do today very much. The thing is that I like doing new things. I like to explore strange new worlds and all sorts of new things that have never been done before, and find out what happens when we do such things. And that's my favorite thing. I am sorry to say that I am not very good at repeating the same things over and over and over again. And as valuable and as wonderful as this is, and as much as I truly admire, and sometimes I'm jealous of people who can do that, it's just not really where my happiness lies. I love doing new things. Good morning, dear Birgit, and everyone else who is here with us this morning. Fantastic. Yes. So, the Energy Show is about creating a space just for 40 minutes or thereabouts on a Sunday morning to do things with energy, to explore the realms of our own living energy bodies, and to take that time to pay attention to things from the energy worlds, which just doesn't get enough attention in everyday life, as the saying goes. Hello, Lorna. Welcome. Fantastic. Yeah, so, okay. Well, let's dive straight into it, because time is precious. There is no time lottery where we can hope to win an extra million days. And therefore, time is much, much more precious than money. And it's worth remembering at all times. Let's just dive straight into it. The only way to do this is to go straight to Dear Energy in Motion. EMO stands for Energy in Motion. And if you don't know what that is and you haven't read the book, I really recommend doing that, because EMO, Energy in Motion, is the baseline on which all of modern energy is based. And all the most important concepts and ideas, as well as absolutely tons of techniques and things you can experiment with, are included in that book. There is a link to it beneath this video. If you haven't read it, I really highly recommend it, because today we are going to be having a look at the superheroes of our living energy bodies. So in modern energy, our living energy bodies are real. They're not some weird chakras stacked on top of each other. They're not little needly acupuncture points. They're living, breathing, very, very complex structures made of energy that are constantly reacting with everything around us, with nature, with wind, and of course, with everything that's going on in the heart, which is sort of the matrix of people. And at the moment, I think we have everything and the kitchen sink going on again in the heart. We have, like panic from every corner, from every corner. We already had the environmental panic and the ongoing global environmental destruction panic. So the earth was going to die any moment now. We have obviously the whole panic pandemic thing going on still and all the repercussions from that. And now we have additional panic going on as stressed people are going to war everywhere. And just don't think there's just this one war. There are wars everywhere being fought somewhere at this point. And of course, the more stressed people become, the worse this all gets, and there's all chaos and catastrophe all around us. This is just absolutely amazing. And it's just like everybody wants us to stay in a state of ongoing and constant panic. And this is a really sad thing because we need the opposite, obviously. We need people to be happy, confident, powerful, enlightened, possibly even. Wouldn't that be a fine thing? I'd like that a lot. So, yeah, Emo Energy in Motion is sort of the ground zero of modern energy, where all the basic principles are laid out according to which we work with our dear living energy bodies that need energy nutrition, that need attention, that need lots of energy coming in. And in doing this, we've discovered quite a few things, interesting things about our living energy bodies. A very special welcome to Sandra Hilawi. Hello, my dear. Sandra has also a wonderful YouTube channel where she shares lots and lots of tips with people and about energy. Our most experienced energy trainer in the GOE, our dear Sandra Hilawi. Please subscribe to her as well while you're here and help our energy channels grow. Morning, Sandra. I'm delighted you are here with me today. Fantastic. Okay, so I'm talking about EMO Energy in Motion and the way it deals with energy. Now, we don't have chakras in EMO, but what we do have is some particular power centers that are sort of systems made of energy that are sitting at the heart of a certain level in the energy system. And I found a little diagram from the EMO Master's course, which illustrates that quite nicely. So let's have a quick look at that. So on your left there, we have the first of our three superheroes. And HEROES stands for Higher Energetic Reality Operating Systems. These are major, major systems in our own living energy bodies that do certain things at certain levels. And the first one there, the little golden one, that is the one where the heart of energy is the power point and the center. So the heart of energy powers the entire basic meridian system. It also is the ruler, if you will. This is a strange word, but it is the controller of all the energy systems in the meridian system that sit beneath it. So instead of having these 7 chakras and they're all flat and the same weight and they're stacked up, what we have is they're the heart of energy in the middle of the meridian system, and that powers lower systems, subsystems, such as the stomach chakra, if you want to call it that. I don't want to call it that. And the sexual organs underneath and the throat and all of that. They're subsystems, which are all powered by the heart of energy. And this is super important. Without that, our physical body can't work, nothing's happening. The heart of energy is absolutely crucial to living a proper life. And so our heart of energy is our first superhero. And the first thing that we learn to work with, to deal with, because it has such a direct impact that we can immediately feel on our physical body. It's the closest level to the physical body, and that's the heart of energy. And then the next one along there, we've got a white bubble with lots of colored little spheres in it. That would be our dear energy mind. That's the head and the neurology of the living energy body. So you can think of it as the brain and the neurology of the living energy body. And oftentimes, problems that people can't solve by tapping because they're located in that system that is run by the dear energy mind. It's a level up, if you will. It's a little bit finer, a little bit further away. But like in our living body, if the brain goes down, we are in big trouble. So the brain of the energy body is that dear energy mind, and that's our second superhero. But today we are here for the third in that triad, and that would be the immortal soul. And the soul sits at the center. The soul is a system, an energy system that sits at the center of a third level, and it does not have a reflection in the physical body. So just have a little look there at when I did that diagram for the EMO Masters course, originally they were all the same size. But as I was making this diagram, the way that they got bigger, like the heart center is quite small, and then we've got the energy mind that's bigger, and then the soul system, it wanted to run off the page. I would have loved to have made it even bigger than that. This is a big, important energy system. It's entirely real, and that is the system that will go on after physical death. It has no reflection in the physical body. This is a entirely energy-based system with the soul at the center. Okay, so now we've got everybody up to speed who's listening, which is great. What the three superheroes are in modern energy: the heart of energy, the dear energy mind, and the neurology, and then we have the soul. And without that system, the energy system doesn't work. So I thought, what with all this chaos and confusion, what we want to do is activate our third superhero. Wake them up. Because we are using, in modern energy, we are using the heart center, and we work with the heart center, and we work with meridian system. And when we do that, we feel so much better. We lose our fear of emotions itself. And, so many possibilities arise. When we bring our dear energy mind into play, and that would be supermind as well as star matrix, there's this further expansion. Again, there's things that become possible that weren't possible before. And we have this powerful, powerful support from our dear energy mind, which can send us ideas, which can save our lives. Totally saved my life many, many times. It can give us solutions to problems. It can lead us to find the problems in the first place when they're not in the meridian system, but actually in that finer, further circuitry. We already have two superheroes activated. And anybody who does Star Matrix or who does Supermind knows what an amazing thing that is when your dear energy mind wakes up and starts helping you out in your daily life. It really is like a superhero coming to the rescue. Now, I do hope you're starting to get some shivers here. Because now let us think what will happen when we actually activate the third superhero. When we consciously add that to the systems, and I think what will happen when we do that is that those three become more than the sum of their individual parts. Because, of course, those three, the superhero triad, is supposed to work together. And they're supposed to work together with us, our conscious selves. We have these wonderful conscious minds given to us by the great creative order, but we just haven't figured out how to use them correctly. The software we are using to think about the world, ourselves, is really clunky and outdated. And it often excludes things like the immortal soul. Lots and lots of people in the Western world are convinced they don't have one. And they act as though they don't have one. And that's just so sad. But I don't have to tell you guys about the immortal soul. You will have had your own experiences, your connections with that. If you've had near-death experiences like I have, you've experienced that moment when your life flashes before your eyes, the final cascade, and you know this is being sent up to the soul to go into the star fields and where we are immortal. But let's do something really nice today. And let's get started. Simply, I'm asking you now simply to point to a place where your soul is located at this moment. A soul entity. And I'd like you to think of it as just a ball of light. Just a ball of light, and that's it. Because the soul is not a human being. It is not anything much that we can think of in nature. It's not a butterfly. It just, let's go with a shining ball of light to represent its energy nature and the fact that it is extremely powerful. Just say to your dear energy band, show me, where's my soul? Now I'm going to point straight up and sort of in front slightly, and it's about sort of there. And that is important because in energy work, we need a direction. If we are going to be asking for assistance from our immortal soul, if we are wanting to have a communication with it, create an energy connection through which energy and information will flow to us, then we need a direction, we need a location, or else we can't do it. Else we're just sort of shouting into a well. So I'd like you to just take a moment and look up and contemplate your soul entity that sits there. It's just sort of shining away, glowing away as they do. And it's quite alien and different because it's not a person, and we're kind of used to talking to people. We don't want to make the immortal soul into just another person, because they're more than that. They are truly amazing. And among many other things, they are the connection, the gateway, the intermediary between you and all the rest of the great creative order that's out there. Your portal, your stargate, if you will, to everything else that's out there. And so I'd like you to consider for a moment, and if you like, you can place one hand in the heart position. Just make a connection from your heart to your soul. And back again. Take a deep breath in and out. And by all means, repeat that. Just make a simple draw line from your heart center to your soul and back again. And you can encourage that. And say, go on, just flow. Flow freely. Let that energy flow freely. Don't be afraid. It's your soul. It's your heart. They love you, both of them. Just like your physical body will fight with every cell, with everything it has, to keep you alive, to keep you safe, to keep you looking for the next beautiful thing. So will your soul and your heart of gold and your dear, dear energy mind work for you, work on your behalf, tirelessly, sleeplessly, infinitively. This is yours, your systems, and they love you. There's no other way to say that. They love you. And it doesn't matter how far our strange ideas of our self-concepts have strayed away from the actual reality of this, that our physical bodies will fight for us, our energy bodies will fight for us, not just to the bitter end, but way beyond. That's a fact. And remembering this, understanding this, changes the way we feel about our lives, our realities, everything. Because here's the thing. Please keep that connection going as I'm speaking. Here's the thing. With our conscious self-constructs, the world is simply overwhelming. We cannot think our way out of global panic pandemics, environmental catastrophes, the suffering of humanity. We think in terms of ourselves as just these little, limited little things that are sitting in their poor little limited hovels and feeling so powerless. It's just a sorry state of being. It's just a sorry state of being. I have no other words for that. But we are not. We're not these powerless creatures. We're not. We're something else altogether. And when we bring our living energy body back to conscious awareness and then say to our conscious selves, all right, stick that in your pipe and smoke it. You've got an immortal soul. You've got an energy mind with capabilities that are beyond anything any computer can do. You've got this extraordinary physical body, which is a chemical factory, which can produce cures and healings for yourself if we don't get in the way. Please understand, you are not powerless. You are amazing. You're astonishing. You bring the soul into the game. Oh my God. That is a game changer. Okay, and so let's do something to make us feel better. So we've got our dear soul, we have a direction. Let us send it something. And let us send it something nice to start with. Something that we love and would love to share it with our souls. You don't have to even put word on that. Just open your hand, hold your hands out in front of you, like so, like a cupped hand that catches water. Hold it out in front of you and place something into your hand for your soul. Oh. Then release it upwards like you would allow a bird to fly from your hand. Watch it go. Watch it be absorbed by your soul. And then pay a little bit of attention how that feels. Oh. That's nice. Let's give it something else. Give it something else. Something to start a process of not just seeing it or understanding it as this abstract golden ball, but so that you are getting more of a relationship with it, that you start to become fascinated by it, which is the next step of actually loving it. which is our perfect connection. And send it something else. Something precious. Something beautiful, something you love. Ah. And let us remember this is only energy. This has moved me. There was a response in my energy body to doing this. And send it something else. Send it the most beautiful thing that you can possibly think of. And remember, this is only energy. It's only energy. But it's also energy. Ah, it's nice. It is nice to give something. It is lovely to give something. Giving something is very empowering. Because I don't want us to think of the soul as this great big godlike thing up in the sky. And we're these little worm creatures down there on earth. That's not the way it is. This is a part of you. This is your soul. You are one. But we'll get there eventually. Okay. So now that we've practiced that with some nice positive things, and now what I would like us to do is to hand over some problems that we have, or something that we are afraid of, something that worries us, something that frightens us, something that we don't feel we have the power to cope with. And we're going to hand that over, not in thought flow, but directly up to the soul. The soul is the heart of magic. Perhaps it can do something for us. If it can't, perhaps it can pass on our request to someone else. Another soul, another entity, another being, who knows? But the point is that you don't have to bear the enormous burden just by yourself in that limited self-concept any longer. That's the most important thing. So please, just as before, hold out your hand and place something inside there that troubles you, that burdens you, that scares you. And please be honest. Doesn't have to be world hunger. It's personal. No one will ever hear it, but your soul will. Place it inside, all of it. Don't hold anything back. You might like to take a deep breath and just really sigh. Sigh your troubles. And when you're ready, release it. Like you would let a bird fly free from your hands. Now take a moment to notice how that makes you feel. Connect back with your soul. How do you feel about that now? How does that feel? I'm getting a sense of real gratitude that I have been able to hand over this problem to someone who is simply in a better position than me to do anything about it. That doesn't mean I've given up on making changes or trying to do something, but what I've done is to ask for guidance, higher wisdom, what we're going to do next. Because the soul isn't silent. It will reply in some shape or form. That is something we learned during thought flow. Let's do another one. Something else that worries you. And just let it go. Fly up. As I've just done this, I have noticed that there is an updraft. So my bird doesn't have to flap its wings or fly very hard, but it's like the soul is just drawing it up and into itself. And that made me feel like, oh, it wants to help me. My soul wants to help me. It wants to become more active in my life. It's been waiting for me to communicate with it. Let's do one more. Something that burdens you, something that troubles you. Don't have to be holy about it. If you're worried about your gas bill, put it there. Do it. And then just let it go. And that got really pulled up really quickly. And that made me smile, which is really nice. All right. So now there's one more thing I want to do. A lot of people who pray to various entities, they are only ever asking for help. It's only ever about, I want this for that and that for that, and I want this and I want that. And this is it. Oh, I want. That's it, always. And it's always negative. And even though the immortal soul is extremely patient, I suspect, I would encourage a more wider bandwidth of communication. So now let's send our hopes and dreams to the soul. That this is really nice, because here we're saying to it, this is what I want, what I dream of, what I'd like to manifest, if you want to use that worn out word, something that I would like in my life. So please, let's do one of those. Something that you would like in your life. That can be anything. Again, don't try to be too holy. It can simply be a material object. A new coffee machine or something. It doesn't matter. Something you would really like in your life. Anything. And as before, simply just release it up. Oop. And my dream, my hope. Fluttered up to my immortal soul and was received. Hungrily, even. I would even use that term, hungrily. As though I was feeding it with my energy, with my connection, and it enjoyed that and it liked it. Yeah. So it's just, as we continue, we may say, please let this connection from the heart to the soul keep going. Let that be there all the time and strengthen without me having to command that it should be so, that this happens naturally, that finds its rightful moves and flows, but that I don't get in the way, in any way, of having that direct flow between the soul, the energy mind, the heart of energy. This direct connection between the three. And then my conscious self, my conscious construct, that's the fourth. The physical body make five. And that they should all come together in the same place at the same time more often. Because when that happens, we actually manifest our true power as a living human being on this world. Yeah, so how was that? Did you enjoy that? Did you feel something? I'd love to hear a little bit of feedback on that. It's just a wonderful thing. Do you like the soul entity? Waiting for somebody to say something. If you're watching the replay at any point in time and space, please take a moment and put something underneath and give me a little bit of feedback how that was, whether you could actually feel something, sense something, whether you had, sense that the soul was like really waiting for you, that it wanted to communicate with you, that it's more present in your life right now, and that there is, I'd also love to know if you get a sense of the potential of doing that. Let's have a look. Sandra says, it feels good and right to connect with the soul entity. It does, doesn't it? Yes. I've only experienced this for myself like 3 days ago, that I came to saying that, yeah, if we're praying for something, who are we praying to? Who are we asking to intercede on our behalf? And it just came to my mind that the very first stop should be our own soul. First of all, to that, and the soul entity is important in that context. Ah, Birgit says it was very touching. Tears were flowing. Wonderful. That's wonderful. Please do keep it up. Do that. When you feel worried or scared, just have a moment with your soul and send it that which you are worried and scared about. And this is very interesting. Let's see what Ilka said. I felt a wonderful warm expansion, feeling like the whole universe is entering into me. Quite a bit overwhelming. Yeah, souls are not little things. They are big things, big energy systems, very big energy systems, very, very powerful. And reconnecting with them surely must be a wonderful thing. Really, yes. Let's see, Liam says. Liam says he felt it was very much, very expansive. Yes, it's also very stress relieving, really. It is definitely a presence that is growing. And remember that what is growing is your presence. It's your presence that is growing. Your, most of all, above all else, your idea of who and what you are, and who and what I am, and who and what other people are. The idea of what people are is so profoundly wrong in the Western world, so limiting, so disempowering. It is just so wrong. It's no wonder that people can't find health and happiness. If you're operating totally on the wrong model, of course you're going to create more and more chaos and misery. People aren't this little thing. Our hearts of energy aren't those little things. They're huge power fields. They power the entire living energy body. Wow, and then the energy mind system is even bigger, and then the soul system is even bigger than that. And that's the connection to the great creative order. The soul system is the directest connection to the great creative order that we human beings have, which is kind of cool. Let's see what Carol says. I felt that my wishes and dreams were drawn up readily by my soul, though it had been waiting a lifetime for me to send it something. Yes, I got that sense too on the hopes and dreams. That's where I got that too, where it was like, oh man, yes, more, send me more. Perhaps the hopes and dreams are the key to it all. But this is brand new. It's the first time people have done this, like this. To the first time this has ever been done, this particular pattern. And I only came across it a couple of days ago. So this is a typical GOE thing, a typical Sylvia thing. I found this pattern. Let's experiment with it. Let's learn something about it. Let's find out how we can use that, when that's going to be particularly useful. And in doing so, learn more about our own immortal souls. Very important. Yay. Right. Let's see what Sandra says. It's the most beautiful thing to connect with the soul, to give love to the soul and sit being loved by the soul. Yes, it does. All our bits and pieces, energetic, physical, and whatever else there is, they all love us. They are all here to serve us, to help us not just survive, but have a fantastic incarnation. And that in and of itself is just, once we start understanding that, then we treat all the bits of us better. There's more love. So much more love. I'll see Lorna. We've got here. Lorna says, very strange for me. I felt really sleepy and floating upwards to the connection. That's nice. Try that when you are in a place where you can relax your physical body. I think that's an invitation to a experience. I think that's an invitation to an experience that would be quite amazing to have. So please do that and let me know how it went, because that's very interesting. I think the energy mind's playing there as well. Liam says he's also feeling sleepy. I found doing spirit and doing soul work has a profound and powerful effect on my whole mind, body, and spirit. Yes, well, it would have. It's interesting. Look, let's remember that we got the three superheroes. The three superheroes. Two superheroes are fabulous, but you add the third, the triad completes, and they're just simply more than the sum of their parts. It's time to bring the soul back into the game of energy. I mean, I've been saying that and in my own way doing that for a long, long time, because I had this experience where I absolutely realized that the soul was real, that it had to be there, or else the entire energy system wouldn't make any sense. That was quite remarkable, because up until then I had just gone Salme. Yeah. But it's actually turns out it's real, and it's a very powerful energy system. Okay, guys, I hope you've enjoyed this. I just want to bring briefly one more time the picture back on the screen of the three superheroes. And please know that I am not disrespecting the wonderful heart of energy. or the extraordinary energy mind and all its systems. But the soul system is really enormous, and that was the message that I got, that it is enormous in its span, in its width, in its reach. In its reach. It is really, really big. Really big. And that's what my dear energy mind was trying to tell me as I was making this diagram. Please be advised, the soul system is enormous. And that's really what I'd like us all to take away from this today, that it's not a little thing. It really is kind of something really special. And it's awaiting our conscious reconnection with it. It, of course it is. Everyone wants love. Everybody needs love and attention. And our own souls are not exempt from that universal law, from that universal rule. So, yeah, that was fun. I'm so glad that you are here and I could um, share this pattern with the soul entity and passing over to giving it some conscious attention, giving it a gift, something that you love, that you want to share with it. I mean, look, if, let's say, for example, you had a new baby and you're putting like the new baby energy into this creation here, and you're sending it up to your soul, you're not losing your baby. You're not what's that word? Sacrificing it on some altar. You're just sharing the joy of the baby with the soul. And that I'm sure you get it. I'm sure I don't have to talk any further on that. It's a wonderful thing. Then you can hand over that which troubles you and end up with that which you dream of. This does not take very long. This does not take very long. Imagine we do that in the mornings and before going to sleep at night. Let's just do that for a month and see what happens. What effects that might have. What new ideas would come, what new opportunities, what other changes might manifest. Let us play in the oceans of energy. That's what my favorite thing to do is. Let us play in the oceans of energy and bring back new exciting things, new learnings, new evolutions for ourselves, and yeah, become more empowered. Go higher on the Sue scale. Be happier. Our happiness matters. At the end of the day, that's what it's all about, is to be happier more often, to have a higher energy average, happiness factor. And that makes life better in every which way you can possibly describe it, is when we're happier. Oh, Lorna says, thank you for today, Sylvia. Indeed, fascinating pattern. Going to include in my daily ritual. Fantastic. Yes, and please, give me some feedback. Let me know how this works out for you. What the way I work is like that. I think up a pattern, I give it to people, they come back, they give me feedback, and together we evolve that into something that's really useful for many people down the line. That's how I like to work. It's for me, it's the only way that makes sense. See what Carol Ann says. Knowing that my soul has nothing but unconditional love for me adds a whole new concept of a self that has a tremendous amount of power, love, and supreme confidence. Yes, I'm glad that resonated with you, because that is, people are just so confused and weird, and they say like, oh, I hate my body and it's all wrong. And whilst that poor body is working its ass off in every cell to try and keep you alive, to try and keep you happy, to be nice to you. The same for the dear energy mind, and of course, the same for the darling immortal soul that has been kept out of the game by shields and blocks constructed purely by our conscious mind. That's extraordinary. But that's the power of the conscious mind. And that's why we need to love our conscious minds too, and not call them monkey minds and not always blame them on everything that's gone wrong. The poor things. They've tried so hard to work alone without the three superheroes: the heart of energy, the dear energy mind, and the immortal soul by their sides. When they are, then the conscious mind doesn't have to work so hard. Our circuitries doesn't overheat anymore so much, and the doors of our perception begin to clear, and we can all take a deep sigh of relief and feel some of those burdens that we've wrongfully placed upon ourselves just gently slipping away. When that happens, we can rise and become more like the people we were supposed to be in the first place. These are my thoughts. Thank you so much. Oh, that's lovely. Ilka says that's one of the most powerful things ever. The immortal soul, activating the immortal soul, yes. Really. I felt that, so I thought I'll do it this week right away. Right away. Don't write a training for it first or wait 10 years before we get to it. Let's do it right away. Right away. Birgit says, I'm so touched and glad now to have a direct connection to my soul. Brilliant. Yes. Excellent. And by all means, just guys, keep practicing that. Keeping those channels open. Keeping them flowing. Love it. Ah, very welcome, dear Carol. And I am thanking you very much for having been here with me this morning and played with the new pattern, had your own experiences. And I look forward to some feedback over time, how that integrates into your daily energy practices, any ideas and thoughts, and also any results, practical results that have come from this. I'm always very interested in hearing that too. So lots and lots of love to you, my dear shining beings. Lots and lots and lots of love to your souls, your shining souls. Hello, Sylvia here. Perhaps our souls can go and have a soul party while we're asleep or doing something boring or tedious. They can get together and dance around in the starfields. That'd be really nice, wouldn't it? All right, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for leaving a like and a comment. That helps the channel grow and more people get to hear about their own immortal souls. And I wish you lots and lots of love. Have a really good week. Regardless of circumstances, look for star events. Spread a little happiness as you go by. And I look forward to seeing you again for next week's energy show. Bye for now. Oh.